Hey, my friends, it's Laura J in a real space. I'm about to light some incense and thought I would give you a view of what I have been working on. Now, I wanted to give you a smooth ride through what is about to be on offer to you. I want you to understand that I have been on a journey to become who I am, and as my Facebook cover photo says, I have died 1,000 deaths. My ego has, for sure, in order for me to learn 1,000 ways to rise, which is what you are invited to do now. We desire courage, focus, wisdom, and discernment, with confidence in ourselves to feel safe wherever we are, which is best won by actually becoming someone that we can trust. It is about realizing that we are addicted to ceremony because we are soulful beings having a human experience that have to remember the whole thing is sacred. But we have been taught to forget. And we are so clever that we are like good little dogs and cats and domesticated beings that are super powerful but have forgotten, then let a little chain hold us down. No more. It is time for us to realize that we can stand fully in the spotlight, not looking to other stars because we were taught to admire them, but instead we actually came to say, hey, let me be in the lead of my own movie, which is what we are here to do. We who were chosen. We are the chosen ones. We are the chosen ones. We are the chosen ones, we are the chosen ones, we are the chosen ones, we are the chosen ones. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. Look how easy we can get distracted away from our own personal practice when we start responding to the needs of others that are coming in and interrupting our own energy flow, which is what instant gratification type technology does to us and what we have been being trained to do, constantly be in a reactive state, where the alarm bells of stress are constantly going off. It is time for us to understand we must actually center ourselves and learn how to navigate the emotional gateway of the heart and mind connection. So, all of this is to say, I have a lot more coming very soon, and I hope that you will join me for the ride. We are going to, on October 10th, my 33rd birthday, start a 66 Days to Change series to help us in transforming our self-image through the sacred sojourn of the soul as I have been coming to understand it over the 3.5 years I've been working on the book that rewrote me before the world got to see the version that I'll write as I put together this series. So I hope that you will join the email series that is going to be posted at ljeh.ca, and know that I will come to you as a perfectly imperfect human being doing my best to be me fully in a world that is not accustomed to truth tellers. And yet there are some of us who cannot help it because we stand for the light as warriors of the white army. Welcome to the team if this resonates with you, because if you have just had a little brew of emotions arise in your chest somewhere, know that is because when you are called, it sparks the heart of your desire. And if you break that word down, it is to sire what you wish for. And that is why it is so important to understand the power of the spoken word. And what Michael Seegers and I will be speaking about during the 66 Days to Change series coming to you through the emails you gotta sign up in order to receive. So go and please know that your information is safe with me. I will never sell you out the way that we have been sold out and conditioned to do with others, and yet it's important for us to understand that we need to have a safe nucleus and a mother that can be trusted, which I have never fathered or sired my own children. Fathered, child, mother, the triad of functional creation. And yet we have been more familiar with the victim triad of the victim, punisher, and martyr or rescuer archetypes that are constantly bouncing around, capitalizing on the 4 archetypes of survival. Our 4 survival archetypes, which Carolyn May speaks about in a highly recommended book called The Sacred Contracts. She speaks about I lost my train of thought. The survival archetypes. The survival archetypes of the victim, saboteur, child, and prostitute, and understanding we can either be in the scared or sacred element of those characters, but they're basically just cookie cutters that we fill our own energy patterns into, and those patterns are a reflection of where we're giving our energy, because where our energy goes, our attention flows, and vice versa. Intention directs attention, which directs energetic perspective and deliverance and connection and all of that. So here we go. It is time for us to unite and to know that whatever position we have played, regardless how seemingly low or high that position may have been, realize we are all players on the battlefield of life, and right now the game is being masqueraded to us through the wands of words that have been part of the production studios we paid tickets of admission to go and see and support, not realizing how they were telling us what they were doing about their evil and demonic ways. And yet, that is to say, you can't do better until you know better, and then when you know better, you want others to know better, who want others to know better, and that's how we become the wave. It's the wave of awareness, my friends. The wave of awareness is what changes the world. The wave of awareness is what changes the world. The wave of awareness is what changes the world. We change by growing our emotional awareness. So we grow by understanding who and whose we are. Our emotions are friends that are designed to help us remember who and whose we are. So please won't you come with me on a journey into yourself, so you can coach yourself and hold the space while you transform and go from a caterpillar into a butterfly. You've been gestating in a terrible lie for so long, and now it's time for us to wake up, open our eyes, and not just the two we can see, but the pineal gland too. That is who we gotta take our attention back to. Please understand that we are all going through a whole lot together, and then we need to be willing to go into ourselves, into the inner kingdom. That's where we're going to go in the 66 days through the transformation of your self-image. Oh, come with me, I hope to see you there at Laura J.E. Hamilton. That is one of the websites you could go to before I switched to just 4 letters with a.ca, because I've been proudly Canadian. It's where my stock on the trademark has been reserved for and sold on, and now I need to understand how to go about getting my identity back, my own sovereignty. I must declare myself found and present. I am here, we must say, because otherwise we'll be traded as property, the slaves that didn't know that we were owned when we were registered by our parents, who were put down as maidens and serfs, just owners for the state. That's what we do our taxes for, and then forget there is so much more behind even that. And there are people who have been going down these rabbit holes, including me, and so now I see that you may be curious about what we have found and what we know to be true because of who we remembered ourselves to be. The gateway, it's a CIA report you can download from the internet. Just type it into your favorite search engine and then hit that, and be understanding of the fact that you have been duped for so long. You have not been taught that you are the center point between the black and white gateway portal way into the universe. We are the ones who are a perfect dichotomy, however you want to say it. That's who we are, and now it's time to come online. Oh, my friends, please come with me. I invite you to come along with me, to be willing to be perfectly imperfect and yet focused, and willing to find these strategies to be able to unite in the name of light and love, inherently, authentically, not just superficially, when we're actually saying something else. You know what I mean. It's time to say, come on, join me. This is the end of all my singing for today. Maybe not, but just for now I will say, come along, and that's all for today. Namaste, Laura J. Toodaloo. Thank you.